Welcome to Look at Your Pothead, Joe Pal Puttyman here, and today I have Campo Crunch. He might be on that end right there.
Oh, Crunch! There it is! There it is! There it is! There's
Johnny
your name.
Donuts down right there, guys. Welcome to This Is Podcast. You guys have seen my shows before, but I haven't done this in a long time, and it's great. Johnny has not been one of these podcasts. That's amazing, but you guys have seen his before. You guys can see it in the playlist on my channel. But guys, first and foremost, welcome. I appreciate you guys being here.
Thanks for having me.
Again, what I want you guys to do first is let's go ahead and give a little shout out because I want to make sure you guys subscribe to their channels and their social medias. So we'll start with you, Johnny Donuts. Do you have anything you want to promote?
Johnny Donuts, 3 7s after that. That's for all my socials, my YouTube, my Instagram. Pretty much that's where I'm at. You'll find me there. I'm usually with this guy on RLG Cast quite a bit as well.
And then of course Campo Crunch. You want to promote yourself?
Campo Crunch.
RLG2, RLG offline. Subscribe.
And keep in mind, all this will be in the description below. So if you guys can't find anything, you can definitely find it there. So you might be asking, what are we here for? Well, you saw in the title, guys. This is our list for the top 5 franchises. Now, of course, this is going to be a biased situation, and I do want to get into some details of exactly what that might be. I know we might have fair list in a different way. I know for me, they at least had to have 3 movies for franchise. Johnny, did you say you had something about your list as well?
Mine have to have a minimum of 4 movies per franchise because there's just so many trilogies out there that I can't pick a top 5.
Okay, so then mine have to have at least so many movies per franchise. Tough to do. I was gonna say, sorry, I just wanted to do that. Okay, so should I just tell you my stipulation was that I don't have any. I just picked what were my favorite and what do I fanboy out for.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Other than what's on this list, I do not care about anything.
Okay,
really? Whereas I got a huge list of stuff. So
yeah,
I have like honorable mentions, but
yeah,
my main list is the only thing that when I hear about it, I get crazy excited.
Same thing with me too. Now I'm gonna go say this, except for maybe number 5. But anyway, before I get into this, also I want to go ahead and say that again, mine also might have like 2 or 3 movies. I tried to put in some things that wouldn't be common, but of course I feel the top 3 are going to be someone everyone knows when it comes to me. So.
Sonic is not a franchise.
Not yet, but eventually, well, it's gonna be.
Then we'll have to make a new video.
Exactly. And that's the reason why I said for me even 3.
But Pokemon is.
Oh my God, it is. Yeah, you're right. All right, actually, let's start off because the thing is we haven't had Johnny Donuts on my channel yet, so I'm excited. So let's go and start with your number 5 if you want to go.
So my number 5 is the Alien franchise.
Ooh, nice. Now, are we going to just talk about it, or we want to just go through the numbers?
I can definitely talk about it if you like. For me, when my first foray into the Alien franchise was James Cameron's Aliens.
Right.
A horror in space, but it was a survival. It was basically survival horror before survival horror.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. And it just Cameron's cinematography in that film, the cast, you have Sigourney Weaver in that movie. You have I forgot the actor's name, the one who plays Bishop. I forgot his name.
I can't think of his name. I can see his face though, but I can't think of his name.
You have the guy who just passed away not that long ago, Bill Paxton.
Yeah, Bill Paxton. Wait, he passed away? I had no idea about that.
Didn't Paxton pass? Yeah, Paxton passed away, right?
Yeah.
Isn't Michael Biehn in that movie as well? No, Michael Biehn replaced Paxton replaced Michael Biehn.
Yeah,
Michael Biehn was supposed to be in that movie, but yeah. So just the cast, the cinematography, the visual effects, like the practical visual effects, like that xenomorph is downright scary when he comes face to face with Ripley. Like you get chills. You see like the drip and the slime dripping off. Like I'm getting chills just thinking about it right now. Yeah, towards lately, some of the stuff, like there was some stinkers out there, Alien 3, Fincher. But it redeemed himself if you want to count Prometheus and Alien Covenant. It redeemed himself with those films too. So I'm excited to see what Disney's going to do with the Alien franchise.
Yeah, they definitely stay on the Fox side because I feel like they're going to keep Fox or not Fox, but 20th Century as a brand, so they can do their adult content over there. So we're definitely going to see more of those, and I can't wait to see me and myself.
Because in Canada, we got what you don't have: Stars on Disney Plus.
Oh, that's right. We got Hulu Plus for ours in that situation. That's how they do it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So what about you, Campo?
Okay, so just another thing. I on both of my first two choices. I love that I named it after him, even though I'm the one that does it every time now. But so my number 5 is Alien and Scream.
Oh wow! Okay.
Scream is one of my favorite movies of all time. Anything that I hear about with that franchise gets me extremely excited. Except the TV show. We don't talk about the TV show.
That doesn't exist.
No. Apparently, people think it's really good, but it's not. Alien is fantastic. You said everything. To me, in my opinion, there's only 2 sore spots in Alien franchise. It's Resurrection and Alien vs. Predator 2. Because Alien, the first one is great. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite horror movies of all time. Yep. The second one is great. One of my favorite action movies of all time. The third one is a perfectly fine movie. I understand that in comparison to the other 2, it's not the same, but in comparison to the fourth one, it's still a good movie.
See, I put Resurrection over 3.
Resurrection is fun, but it's not a good movie.
No. You had Ron Perlman and Winona Ryder.
Yeah, Winona Ryder is good. Yeah. But then Alien vs. Predator is a lot of fun. The second one is absolute garbage. Prometheus is really good, and then Covenant is serviceable. Covenant is good, but after watching Prometheus, it's kind of like a step back. It's like the difference between Alien and Aliens. Not that they're a step back, but one of them's like a serious like sci-fi thriller, and then the other one's like an action movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. What I liked about the Alien versus Predator film was that actor I was talking about who played Bishop. They brought him back to play Wayland in Alien versus Predator, which I thought was a great callback and a great Easter egg in that film.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I guess I'll go on mine then. My number 5, I actually wanted to do an animated series in there, or animated movie series, and I had 2 that I thought of, but I decided to do this one because
Pokemon.
Well, actually, no. It actually
things.
Mine was actually Kung Fu Panda. Yeah. See, the thing is I had an ex of mine actually used to call me Poe because he's such like a kid at heart. So I actually got attached to it because the Poe character kind of just was at my own heart. He just wanted to be something big. It wasn't because he wanted to be like popular. He just was so excited to be a part of that. And that's kind of how I am when it comes to any franchise in general. You know what I mean? I want to be a part of it. It's not because I want to be famous. It's just like I love it so much I want to be part of it. But then it was just a solid franchise that I feel like was fun. Even as an adult, you're like, it brings out the kid in you. So that's why I had to put that one as my number 5 is Kung Fu Panda. And I wanted to at least put one anime on there.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Yeah.
Totally. DreamWorks is a great studio.
Exactly. Which is also why I have my other one, my own mentions.
I almost had 2 animated on mine.
Oh, see, I have I have 2.
I got mine in the honorable mentions, but yeah.
I almost had 2.
Okay, so what's your what about your number 4?
My number 4 is the James Bond series.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, James Bond. It's a great. I did read some of the Ian Fleming novels. Everybody wanted to be Sean Connery. I'm in that age group, right? Sean Connery, arguably the best Bond.
Is the best Bond.
Yes,
it's not arguable. It's inarguable.
It's Sean Connery.
Yeah,
it is. To be fair, Daniel Craig is a very good James Bond. And I'd love to see Idris Elba in that role.
I would too, actually. Yeah.
Yep. Craig's last movie's coming out. Excited to see what that's all about. I love to see where they're going to take the franchise. The first one that Craig did, Casino Royale, Mads Mikkelsen as the chief in that film was fantastic. It kind of got a little corny in the 80s with some. They're still good movies, but it's pure 80s.
Timothy Dalton ones are underrated.
Yes,
the Roger Moore ones are
cheesy,
not very good.
Yeah, the late Roger Moore ones are kind of cheesy, but the Timothy Dalton, I think he got a bad rap because he was coming right off the end of Roger Moore's stuff. So I think he kind of got the bad rap, and then you have obviously
Living Daylights is really good if no one's seen Living Daylights.
A great song. Was it Duran Duran? Living Daylights?
Yeah. Or no, I think it was Aha. And Living Daylights
was a View to a Kill.
Yes.
Do a Kill. Good song. But yeah, it's something I can always.
Well,
I can always go back. Yeah. Go ahead, Putty.
Well, I find it funny is because you guys are not. I love it because I kind of agree with it, but it's like I love how you guys are avoiding Pierce Brosnan altogether because.
No.
Well, GoldenEye is one of the best.
One good movie. Pierce Brosnan had one good movie.
Exactly, and that's what I was about to say. I was going to say, GoldenEye. The thing is, if it wasn't for the N64 game itself, I wouldn't have even known about James Bond. To be honest with you, and because of that game, I went and saw the movie. But then all of a sudden, I had a bad rap of Bond because of Pierce Brosnan. Because like when Halle Berry was in that one movie, and then they got to like that surfing scene, I was like, you know what, I can't do.
It got a little. It was very late 90s, early 2000s, extreme sports kind of thing. But go back, like to this day, Dr. No is still one of my favorite films.
That's the first one.
Yeah, Dr. No is still. And then there was I forgot what was it, Goldfinger? It's like with where he's on the table with the laser and he's like, do you expect me? Yeah. Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
That is the beginning of every single bad guy giving you exposition about what they're doing. That's where
that's the start of it. But that line, I expect you to die.
All right, what number am I on?
We're at number 4. Sorry.
It's fine.
Okay. So I got a double. One more double, then my doubles are over.
Another caps with 2
But I packaged them together because I felt like that's how it was, and I couldn't leave any of these off my list. So my number 4 is a tag team of time travel movies. I got the Terminator franchise, and I got Back to the Future.
Yeah,
Back to the Future is one of the most enjoyable 3 trilogies you can watch, and there's not a single bad bone in its body. There's nothing negative in the movie. You never feel bad. You can never watch Back to the Future and be like, oh, I'm depressed after watching this.
No, they are perfect just the way they are. That's a franchise that does not need to be touched. Please don't reboot it. Please don't make a sequel to it. Please don't make a prequel to it. Leave Back to the Future the way it is. It's perfect.
You can make an animated show, though. I'll take it.
Oh, they've already done it, but
I want a new one.
Oh, okay.
With Dan
give me an anime. Give me it's called Rick and Morty.
I was gonna say.
But okay, Terminator. Me and Caps did a whole episode on this. We both fanboy out for Terminator. Terminator 1, exactly like the Alien franchise, horror movie, best action movie ever made. Really, really serviceable action movie. Okay, the 4th one is a little bit off, but it's still good. Terminator Genesis is the worst.
Genasius
is the worst movie of all time. It's still really fun, but it's so bad. And then I like the new one. So I mean, Terminator.
Dark Fate.
I'm a Terminator fan. I get very excited for Terminator.
Even that kind of Salvation. I didn't mind Salvation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only one I don't like is Genesis.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I guess I'll go with my number 4. My number 4 is, this is my favorite horror movie franchise to this day, and that is A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, the
Caps
thing,
would agree with you.
Yeah, see, here was the thing. When I grew up, my mom was very open about me watching horror movies. You know what I mean? She would sit me down and say they're not real, they're fake. What got me interested in him, and even at a young age, I had a poster like 8 or 9 years old of him on my wall. I dressed up as him as Freddy Krueger like I was like 9 or 10. Like literally, it was an amazing thing. But what I loved about him was you could not run from him. Everyone has to sleep. There was no way to get like Jason. It's just like, dude, I'll just like learn how to run and run away from you or put obstacles in your way. There's no way to do it there, Freddy. You have to go to sleep at some point in your life or you die. You can't live without sleeping. So it was one of those movies that and it had humor behind it too. He was the only guy out there that was killing you and then laughing at you about it.
It's prime time, bitch.
Exactly.
Let's be real though. After the 3rd movie, the comedy went too far.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I agree. But see, that's the thing though. I was young at the time when I first saw it, so it was a very awesome experience for me. Again, even when they did the reboot wasn't that good. But at the same time, I felt they picked somebody that was at least close enough to do what Robert Englund did. But
he wasn't very bad. I agree.
It's the same guy who played. He played. Didn't he play Rorschach? Yeah. Okay. Yep. He was also the villain in the Tick series on Amazon.
Yes, he was. So that's my point. Is A Nightmare on Elm Street is one of those series I just love belovedly. And the thing is a lot of people don't put on their list because they're always Jason, Halloween. I'm like, why is it always gets backburner when he does something that a lot of other ones don't do? He goes into your nightmares or dreams in general. So that's why I put him at number 4.
Good point. I totally agree with that. Number 3, I guess.
Yep, go to 3. Let's do it.
For me, it's the Indiana Jones franchise.
Oh, nice.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Indiana Jones, rugged, good-looking dude, right? Like Harrison Ford. He's the type of guy all the women want to be with him. All the guys want to be him. You know what I mean? He's got the handsome, like the rugged good looks. He's got the charm. He's got the wit. He's got the charisma. probably one of the best lines he ever says. It's not what is it? It's not the years, it's the mileage.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, and I kind of like me personally wise, I was always an awkward looking kid growing up. I wasn't always the best looking kid. So I always tried to work on my charisma, charm, because they go a lot they go a lot longer than looks. Looks fade. But you know, charm and charisma go a long
James
way.
Bond is a perfect example of that.
Right?
Like,
Exactly.
Except that he does look good. I mean, that's just an extra.
It can also be a bit misogynistic, but
we can talk about that.
But that's beside the point. But yeah, so it's like you don't have to get by on looks. You can get by on charm and charisma, which he had in droves, right? And it's just those takes back to those serials, like those action serials of the 30s and 40s with the action adventure, the swashbuckling type of guy. So for me, you know, the less said about Crystal Skull, the better. It was okay. It just wasn't the greatest, but like, I mean,
I've actually never watched it, so I'm glad I have it. So.
Oh, it's worth a watch.
It's worth a watch. Okay. It gets a little convoluted towards the end, but it's worth a watch.
If you can sit through Temple of Doom, you can easily sit through this.
Oh, and I like Temple of Doom.
I hate Temple of Doom.
See, I didn't like Temple of Doom. The weakest of the three, but it's still a good film, and that's why
the weakest of the four.
Take
it or leave it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So for me, number 3 is Indiana Jones.
Nice. I like that.
Number 3.
Yes.
Coming at you with my half animated series. If you don't already know me, then you definitely don't know me because you this is the one. It's the Scooby-Doos.
Oh. Okay, animated movies, all right?
Any of them. I don't care. I don't like the live action ones, but you can call them whatever you want.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo is the cartoon. I'm adding it in. I know it's not part of it. It's great. The animated movies, as soon as I see it pop up on anything, I'm watching it. Like I'm there day one. Scooby-Doo movies. I mean, the original 2 are watchable, but they suck. The other live action ones.
But Linda Cardellini is Velma.
In the makeover one,
yeah, I never liked Velma so much until I saw it. And then she turned up in Grandma's Boy, and I'm like, I'm so happy. Like when I saw her in Grandma's Boy, I was like, you just made my dreams.
That's where all the Velma cosplay started, was thanks to Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, why not? But then you had the other 2 or 3 live action ones that were like straight to comedy or Cartoon Network, which are fun little stupid kids movies, and I don't hate them. I know they're not good, but I don't hate them. And
but every now and then you want to watch a dumb movie.
There are like 5 or 6 of the animated ones that are absolute bangers that like are legitimately good movies for like a cartoon. Like the Season of the Witch.
Scooby-Doo goes to WrestleMania.
The Witch's Ghost. The Witch's Ghost and Zombie Island are like they're excellent good movies.
Yeah. I kind of like the Go to WrestleMania.
Okay, there's 2 of them. There's also the one where they drive monster truck cars with the wrestlers.
Oh, yeah, with the wrestlers. Yeah. But I like the one where they go to the WrestleMania one.
Yeah, that one's good. And that's it.
For those who don't know me, I love pro wrestling, but go on.
All right. So I think we all do, but a lot of people don't know that. Actually, especially me. All right, but as far as knowing me, my top 3, for example, my number 3, everyone knows me loving this. It has bad seeds in there, but I had to put on the list, and that is Star Wars. I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars geek. A lot of people give the prequels, like of course, I'm gonna love the OG ones. You know what I mean? The original 4, 5, and 6. But people give the prequel slack because of Jar Jar or something like that, and the whiny kid. And I'm like, they're like, Anakin's whiny. I go, so was Luke. Luke was a whiny kid too. But my point,
he was. I want to go to Tashi Station to pick up the power converters.
Exactly. But the thing is, of course I'm putting Star Wars on my list because the thing is when it gets down to it, when you hear an audience see Yoda fight with a lightsaber for the first time and the whole audience cheers, no matter how bad that rest of that movie might be, there are moments like that where you go like a little kid going, that is amazing. I'm excited. And I see Campo Crunch over here shaking his head. No, you got something you want to say about that, brother?
No, we'll talk about it after. But like, it's such an American thing when I hear like an audience went crazy. Like you'll never hear that in Canada.
No,
an
you
audience
won't.
Like cheering.
Well,
like,
maybe
they're completely silent.
Well, maybe we have. No, I'm kidding.
We'll be a little bit more polite and clap politely.
No, but I've never even seen that. The only one that I've seen, other than like, okay, well, we'll talk about this later.
Okay. But anyway, that'd be my number 3. So we're on to your number 2.
My number 2 is the Harry Potter series.
The
Harry Potter series for me is something I never read the books because I felt like I was a little too old for that, like when they came out. But when I watched that first Harry Potter film, and I think it was Chris Columbus that did it, right?
The first 2.
Yeah. So I knew who Chris Columbus was, and I never read the books. I said, okay, let's give it a try. And I watched it and I loved it. Then the second one came out, The Chamber of Secrets, or what I think it was, and watched it, loved it. And I'm like, okay, let's keep going. And then they started acting. They started adding.
The best one came out,
which is number 3,
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Prisoner as Azkaban, with probably one of my favorite actors of all time, Gary Oldman.
Yep.
Right. So that's when they started really adding those big name British actors. Basically, every British actor has been in the Harry Potter series. I think with the exception of maybe Colin Firth.
Has Hugh Grant been in it?
Probably, I don't know, as a minor, who knows? But you know what I mean? Like, so many prominent British actors all wanted a hand in this. You know what I mean? Because it's great storytelling. It shows you see them grow. What I like about throughout the 8 films is they grow. You follow them throughout their life. You see them grow, not just physically, but as human beings. The way their camaraderie comes together at the end of the final film. It's so heartwarming. It's just such a great franchise that I didn't give the books enough credit. And I think that's why going into the films with fresh eyes, I'm not tainted by, the books did this, but the movies did this. Yep. I can go into it and just say, hey, this is a great movie franchise.
Yep, I agree. I actually read Order of the Phoenix. It's the only book I actually read, but I watched the movie first, and I saw the things they took out, and I was like, I don't know why people make this a big deal. This didn't really need to be in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People are just like that.
Yeah, well, like apparently in Order of the Phoenix, there was a whole thing where the Ron Weasley's brothers were selling something about butterbeer, and they made their whole thing off the whole butterbeer thing, and they took all of that out. And I'm like, why do people get so butthurt about something that really is not crucial to the plot?
I don't know.
I'll get into that to one of my honorable mentions in the film franchise, but we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah. Okay. I'll get into that too then.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm on number 2, right?
Yeah.
James Bond franchise.
I'm surprised that's not your number 1, to be honest.
It was gonna be until I just changed it right now. James Bond, number 2. It's the longest running franchise, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying the things. It's great.
Age-wise, yes. Film-wise, I would say it rivals the MCU.
Okay, there's a lot of good movies in here. And for a franchise that goes as long as it does, to retain that watchability and like quality factor,
60 years going
through
strong,
changing the main character multiple times, right? You had George Lazenby come in for that one movie, and like, I mean, and you had the Casino Royale movie, if you count that. I don't know if anybody counts that, but
there was also the one where Sean Connery came back.
Yes, which is Never Say Never Again, which doesn't count. It's funny, like if nobody knew this was going to be on my list after I like knew all the information for when you said James Bond, but like I know everything. I probably, other than my number 1, if you say James Bond to me, I'm there. I'm right there. I own all the DVDs. I own all the Blu-rays. I have the Blu-ray box set. I have the books. I've read a lot of the books. I mean, these actors are like part of my life, and I mean, I am. My background is British, so like I'm not like. I mean, I don't know how you could not like James Bond.
Agreed. I still subscribe to the theory that James Bond is a Time Lord.
Yeah, I mean, Doctor Who, good franchise.
All right.
Okay, so I guess I'll go to my number 2, and I'm surprised because we did a whole 2 podcasts for this. I did add it, and you guys might make controversy. I put View Askew. That's my number 2. It's a franchise. I mean, the thing is, and the thing is, I thought, why wouldn't I put that on there? You know what I mean? They link together and everything. But again, it wasn't my number 1. It even beat out Star Wars. That's how much I love Kevin Smith and his series or anything. So that's why I decided to put that at number 2.
Yeah,
so
I can agree with that. For me, it's I mean. Yeah, I could see that.
We'll discuss.
We'll discuss that.
We're going to run out of time before we finish.
Exactly.
So I'll go right into my number 1 in case anybody had guessed it. Star Wars.
Oh wow!
Star Wars. No matter how bad of a film, no matter how bad of Star Wars will always be number 1 for me. I remember 5 years old watching Empire for the first time.
Yep.
And mesmerized by it. Mesmerized. 5 years old, not even comprehending about Luke and Vader and the whole backstory between them. And even if you take the prequels, as bad as some people say they were, I blame poor writing on it.
Yeah, I agree.
And, and Hayden Christensen is not a bad actor. He was just directed poorly.
Thank you. He's done a lot of movies outside of that show. He's a phenomenal actor.
There are 2 scenes in the prequels.
He's done Glass. Okay, that's the only movie he ever did where he was good. Thank you.
Continue. Little Italy.
Bad. Continue.
But inside joke with that one for me. But in episode 2, when he was given the free reign to act, after he comes back from killing all the sand people,
yes,
the raw emotion in his voice, you feel it. You feel that raw emotion in his voice. Same thing in episode 3, at the end, where him and Obi-Wan are having that argument. It's over, Anakin. I have the higher ground. We're supposed to be brothers. He's just like yelling, "I hate you.
You were supposed to be the one." Everything. Yeah. I love it.
And like I said, I'm getting chill. So the prequels have some redeeming qualities to it. So they weren't all bad. Yes, Attack of the Clones, boring as hell. Boring. But like I said, some redeeming qualities. You finally get that Anakin backstory. What I think more for what the franchise meant for me was how it launched that expanded universe of Star Wars. Yes. So much other lore. It started with comic books, video games, how they were all interconnected. So it was the start of something massive that expands through all media, not just movies. So for me, I had to put Star Wars at number 1.
I'd do the same thing if it wasn't for something else.
Right. So
okay, and you, Capo Crunch?
Star Wars is not my number 1. It's not even in my top 39. Number 1, I'm just going to say the name and then I don't even want to talk about it. It's Batman. Move along.
All of them?
Only Batman.
Okay.
Not DCEU.
Okay.
Only Batman.
Right. Well, then that's where I'm confused on how we look at franchises too, because that's why we had the conversation. We'll get into it.
Well, we'll talk about it after. Go.
Yeah, we'll get
my number 1 is the MCU.
Yeah, I'm not even on my top 30.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, let's get to the discussion because I got a bunch of honorable mentions that none of those my honorable mentions mentioned.
Well, before we do this, this is my thing I wanted to tell you. So when I looked it up and I dug deep in this to like really figure it out because I absolutely did not want the DC on my list. Batman, Spider-Man, and Superman are all considered their own franchises.
Agreed.
Then X-Men, the Fox universe is considered separate. Well, we already know that. Then MCU. And I didn't know that. So when I saw Batman, I was like, okay. And originally Batman was my number 2.
Right.
But I thought about it and I was like, you know what? There's nothing I like more than Batman. So there's no way. Also, I want to absolutely defeat you. Okay.
Me?
No, well, both of you.
Okay.
So The Phantom Menace is one of the worst movies ever made. I don't care if you have an attachment to it or you like it. It's not good. Attack of the Clones is far better. It has such better writing. I know it's a lot of slow-paced politicking, but it's way better. And Hayden Christensen, I get it that he's not as bad as he is in Star Wars, but there's nothing that you're going to ever tell me to make anything he did in Star Wars redeemable. He's absolutely terrible in Star Wars. And the writing is bad. George Lucas is a terrible director. He's never been a good director. Like behind the camera, he's not good. He's an idea man. Let him come up with ideas.
Arguably the 2 best Star Wars films, he didn't direct them at all.
Exactly. The third one, though, I like it. And the third one's really good.
Revenge of the Sith.
It's fun. Yeah.
Ewan McGregor, though, amazing.
He's the star of the show.
Oh,
I agree with that. And I'm looking forward to the Obi-Wan series.
Yep. Do I enjoy being in Star Wars and watching Star Wars? Yes, 100%. I do. I can't lie to you. But the first 2 movies and the new one are so bad that I can't say that this is a franchise I want in my top 5.
Agreed. I can agree to that, and I can respect that.
But I get people have attachments to them.
Yeah. For me, like
fine.
I said, it's one of the first movie franchises I ever watched. And that's why I have that attachment to it.
I saw episode 1. Sorry.
Yeah.
I saw episode 1. We waited in line for it. Like, not like days, but we waited in line all morning to get to watch it. And as a little kid, I left the theater and I looked at my dad and I was like, that movie sucked. And you don't expect that because like the little kid, everyone was loving it. Yeah. I grew up watching VHS until they broke the first 3 Star Wars, and then I saw that and I was like, this is not Star Wars.
Right. As Leonardo said, at least the pod race scene was pretty cool.
No, the single best lightsaber.
Oh, you got
fight.
That reference?
Yeah.
The single best lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars. Episode
Darth
1.
Maul.
Nothing is even close.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Agreed. Episode 1, the redeeming quality is that it gave us Darth Maul, a character so popular that
they brought him back.
It also took
him away from us.
Yeah, but they brought him back to life because he was so
several
popular.
times. Even I remember the first time I saw them bring back was actually not the way everyone else did with like the Clone Wars and all that. The way I saw it was in a comic book when he actually came out of the sand with robot legs and fought Obi-Wan as he tried to protect a young Luke because he thought he had killed him, and of course that's not even canon anymore.
Yeah.
But that's my point.
That's where Clone Wars got the idea of the robotic legs.
Exactly.
Darth Maul's arc on the Clone Wars / Rebels series is probably one of the best.
If I could count the animated series and The Mandalorian, Star Wars is probably in my top 5, but I can't, and that's why I wasn't.
Yeah. For me, it's also because, like I said, for what it did for lore and opening up these expanded universes.
Yeah. Okay, so before we go into, I know this is your episode.
Yeah, sorry.
Before we start talking about honorable mentions, let's just defeat a couple of each other's things. Indiana Jones was close to my list. I'm just going to tell you that.
I liked it. I liked it. I didn't put in my honorable mentions. It's not because I didn't like it. It's just there's so much that you think in your head, you know what I mean, to add because again, and some of the honorable mentions I have are just close to my heart more than anything.
I had Kung Fu Panda and Toys R Us. I was going to say
I have Toy Story on my
both pretty close.
Toy Story, and on my honorables I have Shrek.
I have
Shrek. I had that on mine. Harry Potter was gonna be on my list. I love Harry Potter. Putty knows that me and my brother love Harry Potter.
Yes, a lot.
But I hate the first 2 movies. They're so bad. Like they're just so poorly written. And then Chris Columbus is directing it like a children's movie. I don't think his directing is bad, but it's like he was given this material.
I think that's more studio influence.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly. 100%. And then you got to Prisoner of Azkaban and you're like, what the hell just happened? This is the best. And it just takes off from there. It's all uphill from number 3.
That's one of those rare movie franchise where it just got better instead of
I don't know if for me, nothing got better than Azkaban, but it was it peaked and it stayed.
Yeah, and it didn't drop back down.
The second one especially is really bad for me.
Chamber of Secrets.
But people who have attachments to Harry Potter, I can never argue this, and I understand it's like Star Wars, right?
For me, that's a tradition at Christmas. Is at Christmas time I watch all the Harry Potter films. It just Christmas and Harry Potter go together.
It's a thing that people have attachments to these, and as the movie critic in me is automatically defeat things. That's how my brain works. To justify for me why it's not on my list, I have to defeat.
See, for me, the Batman franchise, the reason why it's not on my list is 2 words: George Clooney.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's
and
fair,
Val Kilmer, kind of.
This is my thing with the Batman franchise, and this is why I originally had it at number 2, but I put it at number 1 because number 2 was for the reasons you say. Number 1 is the fact that anytime you mention the word something new with Batman, I'm there faster than anyone ever.
Yeah.
New animated show, I'm there. New animated movie, I'm there. New comic book series, I'm there. And new video game, I'm there. Like Batman is just like
as a character, agreed.
Yeah. But I have to say that even with the movies, right? My list is my favorites. What do I want more than anything? Batman. Give me Batman, I'm gonna consume it. Like I like Batman Forever. I like Batman 66. I don't like Batman and Robin, but it's a fun as hell watch. Like I could watch Batman and Robin all day. Uma Thurman is hot as hell. Like just take Bane out, get rid of Bane.
Yeah, I'll take Nicole Kidman over Uma Thurman any day.
Okay, that's a fair choice.
Well, let me ask you this: then you guys actually didn't say you even put in your honorable mentions, but of course, then I put it at number 1. Is there a reason why you guys didn't put MCU? Like, is it the flaws,
I don't care.
Okay. MCU is too much over such a short period of time.
I love the MCU. I love watching it. I'll watch anything they put out. But if you tell me there's a new show, I'm not like, yes, I'm going to watch it. I'm just like, okay, when it comes out, I'll watch it, whatever. Well, I don't like Marvel. When it comes to comic book reading, I don't read Marvel. I do have certain ones that I do read, but I was never buying Marvel to read. I would buy it. It's a number 1, put it in the bag, seal it, put it in a box.
Yeah.
See, whereas my favorite comic book character still had one movie, and it's terrible. My favorite DC character is Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And it had one bad movie.
Yeah. And see, well, that's the thing. That's one thing. I read both Marvel and DC growing up, but Marvel was always my cup of tea. You know what I mean? I had to have everything Marvel. And just to see what they've done, I know it's done in a short time, but at the same time, what they've done in a short time, DC's had so much struggling with being able to do so many different things. But then when they just say, you know what, we're just going to focus on Batman. We're just going to focus on this. They tend to do a good job in that. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why I put the MCU so high on that list, is because they've learned how to coexist with each other and still be able to stand alone, especially
it's proper decision making behind the scenes as well. Like even Star Wars, when they had Kathleen Kennedy there, it was a disaster, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Put Dave Filoni in charge.
That was the right choice. Yes. You should have had him and
Favreau
right from the beginning.
Yep.
Or even if you wanted, even if you just left Abrams to make,
let him do his thing. Yeah, let him do his thing. This is too much. Like you said, pandering, politicking behind the scenes, studio influence. Yeah. They couldn't make the movies they wanted to make with the sequels.
And that's like my point, right? I'll watch a Star Wars movie. I was just bullshitting when I said not even in my top 30. MCU and Star Wars are right outside my top 5. But it's not the thing. Like, I'm not, when you tell me new Star Wars, I'm like, no, Mandalorian, if I'm there.
Yeah.
If you told me right now the Mandalorian episode comes out, I'm going to run home and watch it and leave you guys here.
Right, but see, I'm like that with Star Wars. You tell me new Star Wars, I'm there.
Star Wars and MCU are for me the same way, because I've seen every single Star Wars movie in theater. Because when they put out the Star Wars movies, I was able to go back to special editions. So I literally seen every single Star Wars movie in theaters, and I've seen every single MCU movie. I've seen every single X-Men movie. Oh, and so I had to put X-Men on honorable mention. Yeah,
X-Men's on my honorable mention.
Yeah, same here. X-Men has to be up there.
Yeah, and see, how about this? You guys want to list your honorable mentions now, because we kind of
we defeated our lists enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I want to add the Bourne series to my list.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Well, I'll take your Bourne series because I like the Bourne series a lot. Yeah. Except the newest one. You know what? Can we just
the one with what's his name?
I like the Jeremy Renner one. I don't like the Matt Damon coming back.
Oh, the Matt Damon coming back one. Okay. Yeah, because I was going to say I like the Jeremy Renner one.
Yeah, the Jeremy Renner one's fine. The one with Alicia Vikander when he comes back is so bad. I was like, what is happening?
It didn't feel like a Bourne movie.
You guys are going to kill me.
To go off that, Mission Impossible.
Yeah, that's on my honorable mentions.
That's another franchise that, like, I'm there. Like, those stunts got me. You give me practical effects, I'm showing up.
For me, its honorable mentions is the Mummy series with Brendan Fraser. The first two are fun movies.
I wouldn't add it, but I'll accept it because I do like it.
They're fun movies. They're great popcorn movies. Especially when that first one came out, it felt like an Indiana Jones movie without being Indiana Jones.
The first two have that.
But can I say this? Only thing is whenever I watch 2,
and Rachel Weisz.
I know. When I watch 1 and 2, though, I love them. But then when I get to 2, I'm like, can they just special edition rocking this? Because like the CGI was so bad back then, I can't look past it now.
Yeah,
I kind of have to be like, can you guys just
also?
But I mean,
Scorpion King is part of that. You get both
I love
Scorpion Kings.
Yeah.
But that first Scorpion King with The Rock, and that was a good movie.
I like that movie, but it's not.
That's what I said. It's a fun movie. I never said it was
second one sucks.
Yeah. Is that the one with the what's his name? The UFC fighter?
Yeah.
Cain Velasquez or something?
I'll point
somebody.
Yeah.
I'll point this. I'm going to interrupt, but I want to point this out. We did bring in Shrek and Toy Story, so I figured those were both on my honorable mentions. Since you both brought that up, I'll bring that out there real quick too as well. Yeah. So,
what about the Lord of the Rings franchise? Like all 6 films.
Listen. I believe that there's only one return, and it's of the Jedi.
Not one ring to rule them all.
Okay, now I have 2 franchises I want to go ahead and bring up and everything. So I'll go ahead and bring up my last 2 mentions, and we'll go around. The 2 is one. I actually did not watch this, and I'm talking about the new one. I didn't watch the first 2 until I found out they were coming out the newest one. But the MonsterVerse, Kong vs. Godzilla, I put them on mentions because at first I didn't pay attention to it. But then when I heard Kong vs. Godzilla was coming out, I wanted to do a review on it. So I went back and watched the movies. I'm like, these are actually good.
Okay, well, let's be real. If we're talking about real franchises, if you count those, you get every King Kong movie and every Godzilla movie too. So that's a pretty solid franchise that I can't.
I agree.
Skull
Island was an underrated film.
Yeah,
Skull Island was an underrated.
That's the one I don't like.
Really? Yeah. I like Skull Island.
Skull Island is better than King of the Monsters. But that's because King of the Monsters is trying to do too much, and the human story sucks. The girl who plays 11 is so bad in it. She continues being bad in the new one, and it's not because she's a bad actress. They wrote her so poorly.
They're just trying to shoehorn her in every scene.
She doesn't even need there. The other little girl that's with Kong in the new one is way better.
Yeah, I agree.
But I agree with that.
Skull Island, Brie Larson is a trash bag.
Yeah,
there's too many characters. John C. Reilly, though.
Yes,
I like amazing. Yeah.
John C. Reilly. Go ahead.
And then the last one that I'm all my list done.
I got a couple more, but
that's why I said I'm going to let you guys continue up with that. So my last one, I couldn't have it without being called Gamer Potheads, is Cheech and Chong. I am a huge Cheech and Chong fan. I remember I even reacted. John loved it when I did
that. That's Ajax, man.
Yeah, it was Ajax. Anyway, my point to the whole thing is I had to add it because it's one of those franchises that I feel like those two just had so much chemistry in making great, funny movies. And as a stoner, I had to add it there. So that's my last one.
View Askew, by the way, was
E.T. Eddie Torres, the extra testicle.
I'm looking for Mr. Burt Reynolds and the Dolly Parton.
Oh my god! But I had to mention that in there. I love it so much and everything.
Okay. That's I'll
Mexican Americans don't like to get up early.
That's not even from that. That's from East LA.
No, that's the Cheech and Chong. The first Cheech and Chong film.
Oh, I thought that was from East LA. Born in East LA.
Up in Smoke. That's Up in Smoke.
That's a good movie
Up in Smoke,
too.
Yeah. Mexican Americans and
I love when he's polishing his car in the beginning of the movie. Even the beginning, everything. But great.
It's a good film, even though I don't ever partake.
What
does
he say? What is he? They're like parked in the middle of the road, and he's like, "How fast am I going? You parked, man.
You parked, man. Oh, no way." This is so.
But
great.
and that's the thing too. I don't. For me, if your audience doesn't know, I'm the opposite of you. I'm a straight edge guy, right? I don't drink. I don't smoke. Everybody has their own things that they like to pass the time with, and I don't judge that. But even for me, who doesn't partake in any of that, I still enjoy those films from a comedic aspect. So I agree with you on that sense.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
View Askew was... I didn't consider it a franchise, but then when I looked it up, it kept being on lists of best franchises. Yeah. And that's kind of why I didn't put it on, because even though it all takes place in the same universe, none of the movies really have anything to do with each other, except Jay and Silent Bob, which fourth wall breaks it.
Okay, but if we're going to do that, you kind of have to break the Bond thing, too, because the Bond thing, those movies never connect to each other, honestly, and if you really...
Yeah, but you have the same main character for every movie.
You have Bond and Blofeld, as always.
And then you have
I get that. But
and Spectre and Moneypenny.
I'm saying the Bonds keep on changing, and that's my whole point. Is there's always they may have the same characters, but it feels like the movies are always by themselves.
But it's always James Bond's Dr. No or
Fleming.
You can have it. I don't agree. I would put it if I was. That was just the reason why
it's still a franchise. I'm not saying that.
Yeah. That was the only reason I didn't add it, because to me the only linking factor of all those movies is really Jay and Silent Bob. And
because Brian O'Halloran plays a different Hicks in every movie. He plays Dante Hicks in Clerks. He plays Brian Gil Hicks in Hicks in,
and it's not a not love thing. It's just that was the reason that little thing just kept it off for me. But that was the
little thing for me as well. It's number one on my honorable mentions, but it's there.
Yeah, I have. So this was my other animated franchise that I almost put on. I know I said those three that we talked about, but Dragon Ball was really close. Mm-hmm. Dragon Ball has had 11 movies.
Well, can I just say though one thing my brain, and I'll let you finish and everything, but I sound like Kanye. Anyway, but
I'm gonna let you finish.
But the only thing I didn't like is just seeing Vegeta dance. That's all I'm gonna say. Go ahead.
That's okay. But it's a franchise that I do really love, and anytime you say something Dragon Ball, I'm there. But it's just the quality of the actual movies minus Super Broly are not good enough that I would want it to be on my list. I originally had it and I deleted it off my list.
Even Resurrection F, I didn't mind that one.
Resurrection F is really good. The two Super movies are both good. It was Resurrection F and Super Broly, right?
And Super Broly, yeah. There's another one. There were three.
No, there's one more. But
the first one,
Resurrection F and the other one are in the series. The first 6 episodes are those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I added the Die Hard series on my list.
I can't because about that. I don't like Die Hard 2, and I think the new one is really bad. Okay. I'm I thought I was in the majority of people, but apparently from talking to Caps and like people at work, everyone loves Die Hard 2. And
Die Hard's a great movie in my eyes. But
I'll take Die Hard 1
1
just because of Alan Rickman.
Yeah, Die Hard 1 is, if we're gonna do an action movie list one day, so I'm not gonna ruin it now, but it's in there.
Yeah.
I added the Pirates of the Caribbean series.
But that same thing. The last two I couldn't. I
have not seen all those films either.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, let me give you one.
But same thing with Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put Jurassic Park. I like the first two Jurassic Parks, and that's it. I think World is a good, fun movie, but I'm not a personal fan.
The second one, Lost Kingdom, was kind of iffy.
Bad.
Yeah.
I think 3 is better than that.
I don't know. See, I feel like 3 was the worst out of the whole category, even after Lost World. The second
you have a raptor that says Alan. Okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, let me give you one. The Muppets.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
The Muppets have a lot of good movies.
I go and see those in theaters
I was
every
going to
time.
say that. I was going to mention that before you beat me to it, but yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
Muppet. Yeah. You finally beat me to one of them. Yeah. The Muppets. I've always had a soft spot for the Muppets.
Yeah,
too.
I do too. Yeah. I've not missed any of those. I haven't seen all in theaters because I didn't see the original Muppet movie in theaters. But yeah, all the other ones after that.
There's like 5 of them that are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Muppet Christmas Carol to this day is still like.
Oh,
I believe that's on my list when we did Christmas movies. Remember,
yes.
Buddy? Did we do Christmas movies?
Yeah, you got the Michael Caine doing the little.
Yeah. But like even like Muppet Treasure Island. Oh my god.
Treasure Island.
Tim
Muppets
Curry.
in Space.
Yes. I'm a huge Tim Curry fan.
Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yeah.
The heist. What's the heist one called? The Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah.
Like, these are great movies. And the Muppets, the recent one with Jason Segel and Amy Adams is dope.
Yeah.
Muppets Most Wanted, kind of not so much.
Yeah, not so much.
But yeah,
it redeemed it for me because I have a thing for Tina Fey, so it kind of redeemed it for me. So anyway,
I have a thing for Kermit the Frog.
Whoa! Are you keeping that secret?
Yeah, right.
Waka.
But there any other
Kermit the Frog here?
Well, now I will say this. I don't know if you guys had any other. I don't know. But I did
find
something in my head
the
popped up.
Rainbow Connection.
Oh my God.
He's trying to talk and he's just hearing it in his headphones.
Yeah, that's what's happening. So I'm sitting there like, and it's so well that I'm actually seeing him with like a banjo in the first part of the first movie, just sitting there doing the whole thing.
Let's quick. I'm getting caught.
But one just popped in my head that I actually love was animated was actually How to Train Your Dragon. I totally forgot about that, but I love that series.
I love the first movie. The second one, anything after the first movie,
I like. Objectively, I think the first one and the second one are good. The first one is my favorite. I'm not a huge fan of the second one, even though I will admit that it's a good movie. And the third one I was like on the fence about.
Yeah, see, but that's why they didn't put in elemental, but it's still, it's still, exactly.
Okay, well, here's one. The Hunger Games. I don't care what you say. The second one is dope as hell.
I haven't actually seen
one is good.
Those.
Yeah,
and I will jump in. I didn't say this earlier, but I've actually never seen the Bourne movie.
Oh, dude,
go watch it.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
you have to get on it. Watch the first 3. It's like if
once you watch
Impossible and James Bond had a baby.
Bourne Identity, once you watch the Bourne Identity, you have to watch them all.
Okay.
You will want to watch
Supremacy is like dope as hell.
Yeah, I got the Rambo series on my.
I'm
not a Stallone guy.
I am. Rambo was an amazing movie, and the thing is, I remember getting addicted to Rambo because we went to the drive-in. I saw like a kids movie. I can't remember what the kids movie was, but I had to sleep in the back seat, and they said go to sleep when they were starting to watch First Blood, and I woke up in the middle of him going ah. And the thing is to this day, I heard that, and I was like, I had to see these movies, and so I actually went back when I got older and watched them all, and love them. I love them to this day.
I like the Rambo, the Rocky series. Yeah,
that's another good one.
Rocky 3.
Even Rocky. Which one was the one where he was training the new kid? That
Rocky
kid,
5.
Rocky 5.
Even though it's bad, I actually had no problem with it. It wasn't that bad.
If you remove Rocky 5 out of the franchise, it's one of the best franchises ever.
Now, would you consider Creed as part of that, or is Creed its own?
Oh, definitely. Creed is in there. Yeah, and Michael B. Jordan's really good in that part.
Rocky Balboa is super underrated.
Yeah, Rocky Balboa is a fantastic film. Rocky, that kind of brought him back. Is it just
called Balboa, or is it called Rocky Balboa?
I think it's called Rocky Balboa.
There's one called Rocky Balboa. It's like
that's okay. Well,
that was the last Rocky film, and then came Creed, I think.
Here's a great one. Mad Max.
Oh, yes. Why would I even skip on that? Because like once they, I didn't think Fury Road was gonna be good, and then when people were like, "You need to go watch," I'm like, "Really?" The other
Fury Road was excellent. Yeah, the less we talk about Beyond Thunderdome, the better. But
I actually like Beyond Thunderdome.
Wait, hold on. let's talk about this because I agree with you, not Putty. I agree with you that it's so bad. Like it's fun and it's
an brought us Blaster Master.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun and it's an action movie, but it's not good. But if you check its ratings on every site, it's rated good. It has solid ratings on every site, like 7s.
And it was a great theme song too. We don't need another hero.
Tina Turns.
Yeah,
you got parts. I was gonna say Rocky, Mad Max 2.
Yeah.
What's it called in America?
The Road Warrior.
The Road Warrior.
No, yeah.
That's a lot of people when it came out in the 80s didn't know that it was a sequel because it wasn't called Mad Max. It was called The Road Warrior.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Mad Max
because they redubbed his Australian accent to an English accent.
Yeah.
He re-recorded the dialogue. A Lethal Weapon then.
Oh wow, yeah.
Lethal Weapon.
Rush Hour.
Yeah. So they're all coming up now.
Lethal Weapon is another one that I fanboy out for, but it just didn't belong on my list.
I feel you.
Lethal Weapon.
The Police Story franchise is dope.
Yeah.
Police Story 1, 2, First Strike, Super Cop 2. What's the other one? The new generation or whatever. And then there's 3 other Police Story movies that take place with the same guy, but they're in like a different Jackie Chan in like a different timeline. I don't even get it. It doesn't make sense. I feel like they just called it that for. Just to then get money.
What about the Turtles franchise?
Oh my God! Why didn't I put that on my list? But see, I guess
I can't.
I think
because there's too few good movies.
Well, see, the thing is, I like 1 and 2 are watchable. 1 of them is actually good.
Yes, here's the thing: 1 and 2 I love. Okay, 1 I love. I have it memorized. 2 I love. 3 I despise, and they use parts of the comic book, the Mirage comic book, that I was excited to see, but it didn't work out. The TMNT animated movie that has Sarah Michelle Gellar in it, amazing. Then you get to...
And Patrick Stewart.
Oh, yes, exactly. But then we get to Michael Bay.
You get the first one that's watchable but not good, and then you get the second one that's such a train wreck.
And that's the reason why the Transformers series is not on
I was in all these nerd chat groups on Instagram and basically got me kicked out after I reviewed the second Ninja Turtles because they were like, you can go see the comments on my wall. I was like, how are you arguing with me that you think this is the best movie ever made? I'm like, this is so bad that I didn't even want to finish it.
Well, see, the thing is, I grew up with Turtles. I read the comics before I saw the cartoon, but the thing is, or I read 1 comic, I say 1 or 2. But my point to the thing is, I was actually excited to see Bebop and Rocksteady, Baxter Stockman, and Krang.
Continue.
And then it was like, when I saw him, I was like, what? Yeah, I know. I see Seamus playing. I was actually kind of excited at the same time, but then when I watch, I go, "This is such a horrible."
To be a huge fan of Turtles as I am, and to watch that and be like, "No," it's that's like when I'm telling you that the DCEU is bad, and I'm that big of a Batman fan, then that's saying something because I read the comics, I watch all the shows, and I'm watching that. This is not Batman. Does not say sorry and
he breaks your bones.
We need your help. No, he doesn't need your help. He doesn't need anyone's help. He's Batman.
I literally own the Michael Bay Ninja Turtle movies. I'm not proud to say that.
I own them too. I have the ones that come with the tie rounds.
Yeah, I got that too with the little figures. I just got 4 little figures and then the 4 bandanas. That's the one I got. My point to the thing is,
I'm not gonna not buy it. It's a Ninja Turtle.
Exactly.
I'm gonna buy the Snyder cut too. Let's be real.
Yeah, exactly. Now, were there any other mentions we didn't mention before we finish up, or that you might have?
I think I had 2 more or 1 more. The Ocean series. I like the original Oceans. I like part 1. I like part 3, and I like the new one. Just part 2 is an extremely terrible movie that came out of nowhere. That Julia Roberts plays Julia Roberts.
I want to add the modern Planet of the Apes series to there.
Oh, it's really good too. I was about to get really crazy on that one.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan. I know it's good, but it's not something that I can't wait to watch again. Well, I admit it's great. It was great.
It was good, and if the new one comes along, I'll watch it. But like you said, I'm not like, oh my god, a new Planet of the Apes.
And when you consider it, that I say that has to be one continuous franchise, and the original ones, there's 1 good movie out of 5.
Well, honestly, Andy Serkis was the reason those movies are so freaking phenomenal. And the thing is, if he's not involved with it, I'm kind of one of those. I don't want to be part of it. Then, he made the what those movies seem so great about, you know what I mean? So that's the reason why I agree. I feel like it's one of those things where it does have constantly have hit or misses.
The Mark Wahlberg 2000s one was
The only thing I liked about that was that Michael Clark Duncan. That was the only part I liked.
Michael Clark Duncan was great in that movie. Yeah.
Tim Bertoli.
Olive Oil?
That movie's the most and the least Tim Burton movie of all time.
Yeah, I agree.
It has so much of him all over it, but he's never been a sellout like he was for that movie.
Yeah, agreed. And the fact that Helena Bonham Carter looked like Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Right?
That's
hilarious. I'm never going to look at that the same.
A franchise that I wish continued is, speaking of Indiana Jones type movies, I really like the idea of the adventure, but with a MacGuffin. It has to have a MacGuffin always. So Indiana Jones, what did we say? The Mummy, Romancing the Stone or whatever.
Jewel of the Nile.
Those are both, if no one's ever seen that, those are both great. I wish that franchise went, but the one I'm going with is National Treasure. I wish that series continued. Because I love the way that they get to where they're going. Like, the movies might not be great overall, but the adventuring part of it is so much fun.
Yeah, I agree.
And another...
It's all Nicolas Cage,
Yeah, exactly. And another franchise that should be that good, where when it comes, it's the only one where I'm like, the book is better than the movie. It's my favorite book series. It's friggin' the Da Vinci Code, the Robert Langdon series. I read all those books at least twice. I love that series. Every time a new book comes out, I buy it. The movies are like, you watch it and you're like, and they're not even, the first two are not that bad. The second two are like...
There were 4?
Isn't there 4?
I have no idea. I'm lost.
I just know the Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons.
Demons. Then the new one came out. I have to look it up.
With Tom Hanks still?
Yeah. And the book was so good. And it's like,
I just know there were a lot of future Marvel guys in there. You had Paul Bettany in the first one. You had Alfred Molina. You had Ewan McGregor was in one.
Yeah, hold on. I got it.
You had what's his name? Professor, what's his name from Thor there? He was the Swiss guard in Angels and Demons. Skarsgård there.
Ewan McGregor's in it.
Yeah.
No, sorry. It was the new one's called Inferno. There was 3. But then there's another book too that
The Symbol or something.
There's The Symbol and there's Origin that they never did a movie on, but apparently they're gonna do it. But I mean,
it's Ron Howard, so like, you know what I mean? Like, do you really? Ron Howard
franchise should have kept going. Okay, get Shorty. Like, come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently the show's amazing. I've never seen the show.
I've never seen the show either. Yeah, but I love both of the movies. Yeah, the good.
It has. You know who the main character is of the show? It's the guy from the IT crowd.
Richard Adewati?
No, the other guy, O'Dowd or whatever.
Jeff O'Dowd. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, is there any else?
I think that's it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to the MCU. Like I gave you too much hate that one
credit. Yeah,
I gave you too much hate there.
That's fine,
but you're not on my list.
I'm willing to take the
I think because, like you said, it's too much in such a short period of time that it's like, oh yeah, another Marvel.
I'll
movie.
watch it when I mean, I'll go.
I think there's a saturation. I understand that, but again, they're doing so well and everything.
The quality is there.
Yeah, they're striking while the iron is hot, and like you said,
they're executing everything well. It's just like, in my life of growing up and what do I want, Marvel has never been on my list of anything. So,
but see, that's the problem. That's what it was for me. As growing up,
and I get that
every time I saw it. Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, let's go ahead. I guess we'll go ahead and close up there. We do have another one when we go shoot. But first and foremost, guys, thank you for watching this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, guys. If you can, go ahead and do another shout out. We'll let you go, Johnny Donuts, with your first one. Can you go ahead and give it a shot?
Johnny Donuts 777. 3 7s at the end of Johnny Donuts. All my media handles are that. So if you want to go ahead and follow, go ahead.
And again, they'll be in the description below. I just popped up a picture as well for all that information. And then of course we have Campo Crunch. You want to go ahead and do the things?
Just follow these two guys.
There you go, guys. And also
follow us to lead you to him.
Exactly, and I'll put links. I'll put links to their channels at the end of this video as well. So we'll go ahead and give a little promotion as well. But I want to thank you guys for watching. This is an amazing podcast to do, and we're gonna go ahead and close it out as always. I am Puttyman with Gamer Pods. Again, thank you, Johnny Donuts. Thank you, Campo Crunch, aka Campo Reviews, and do not forget, guys, Robot Dice Score. Peace out. Talk to y'all later.